boys and baby girls, I'm saying that, at Wellesley College this year.
Wellesley.
Yeah.
But that used to be a girls' college, and I think that was another thing that was forced upon the people.
Oh.
They had to, allow the boys to go to a girls' college.
Well, the school installed a lifelike statue of a man in his underwear, and hundreds of students signed a petition to have it removed.
I remember that.
They wrote, one Wellesley student called it potentially triggering sculpture.
Potentially triggering.
Well, petition signers cited concerns that it has triggered memories of sexual assault amongst some students.
Oh, my God.
And because this
we
type
are
of...
raising a nation of pussies.
Just little
We've been saying it for years.
Oh, it's so... This is embarrassing.
It really is.
Why is this okay? Is there anything else in this article?
There's a whole show.
Travis?
Dude, every line is a fucking home run.
Let's go then. Let's continue.
I hate giving you guys articles that are almost like completely highlighted, but everything's a great example. It's just example after example from different schools.
At Oberlin College in Ohio, a draft guide was circulated and was going to ask professors to put trigger words in some of their syllabuses. The guide said that it should flag anything that might disrupt the students' learning or cause trauma, including anything that would suggest the inferiority of anyone who is transgender.
Wow.
A form of discrimination known as cissexism, I guess it's called. Or uses a wheelchair. Or ableism. It's
Painism.
It's really embarrassing, this place the culture is in. There's just no honesty in it.
None.
There's no honesty in the way people communicate
This
anymore.
is all phoniness, yes. It's shite.
Keep going.
It says beware of racism, classism, sexism, heterosexism.
What's classism?
Probably feeling that the rich are better than the poor, the middle class are better than the poor.
We're all aware of that shit, though. Why did you have to make that into a word?
Jismism.
Well, it says sexism, ableism, and other issues of privilege and oppression. The guide said, realize that all forms of violence are traumatic, and that your students have lives before and outside your classroom. Experiences that you may not expect or understand. For example, it said, while things fall apart by, I guess the name is Chinua Achebe, it's a novel set in colonial era Nigeria, is a triumph of literature that everyone in the world should read. It could trigger readers who have experienced racism, colonialism, religious persecution, violence, suicide, and more. So these little fucking children are so afraid of reading about something unpleasant because it may trigger unpleasant feelings.
That's up to you
to
figure out
everything potentially.
Of course it can.
You know.
Of course it can.
Of course.
They're coddled, hair-padded little babies. They're little babies.
We didn't have green eggs and ham growing up, so this book is a trigger book. Well, Sam, I am a douche.
Would you be?
I got you, Sam. I so fucking nailed you.
Imagine holding up your hand in a classroom where we were growing up and going, I can't read this.
Oh my God, yeah.
This is triggering some emotions.
The teacher would tell you, shut your fucking mouth, sit down and listen.
And then you'd
get home and fucking get smacked.
You would get an atomic wedgie in the halls first.
You'd be called a faggot, which is a trigger word unto itself.
But this is acceptable now, but I just
totally
go back to being a kid and like, excuse me, this is triggering the time.
Teacher, it's triggering some things you wouldn't understand.
Well, that book, by the way, that I just mentioned, which they say is a triumph of literature.
Sure.
After several professors complained, the draft was removed from a campus website pending a more thorough review by a faculty and student task force. This is the world.
To figure out if kids can handle reading the book.
This is what you've created, you jizz buckets. Professors and campus administrators are expected to meet with students. Since when do students get to say what they should be or shouldn't read? You're told what you should read. That's what you sign up for when you go to college. Or don't go.
Shit.
They come up with a more comprehensive guide. And Meredith Raimondo, she's Oberlin's Associate Dean of College Arts and Sciences. She said the guide was meant to provide suggestions, and it's not to dictate, which is a lie, of course.
Dictate.
And an Associate Professor of Comparative American Studies and co-chairwoman of the task force, she said providing students with warnings would be responsible pedagogical practice, and she objects to the arguments that kids today need to toughen up. She said this absolutely misses the reality that we're dealing with. We have students coming to us with serious issues, and we need to deal with that respectfully and seriously.
Why not just take the books, you put them in a giant pile at the school,
There you go.
You soak them with kerosene, and then you just burn them.
Right.
That would be a good solution for these offensive books, right?
Liberals have become exactly what you hated.
Right.
You have become exactly the opposite of the conservative religious book burners of the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. You are it.
Enjoy yourselves.
It has turned completely around. You are the speech repressors.
Yeah.
You are the hypersensitive ones. You're the ones who want people fired immediately. You're the ones who call for people's jobs. You have become what you hated.
The finger pointers. Did you very
read
progressive of you.
You read the front page there, the bottom in yellow, Jimmy? Because that's how it all began.
It began
with Bailey Loverin, a sophomore.
Yeah, but Bailey Loverin was not even the most irritating. She's a sophomore in Santa Barbara, California, of course, and said that the idea for the campus-wide trigger
What's
warnings...
her name?
Bailey Lovern.
Oh, Lovern.
Yeah, Lover.
I'm your Bailey Lovern.